welcome to another gauge demo from fitgauges.com. So in this video I'll be showing you my air systems gauge for the PMDG737. Now this doesn't work on any other aircraft, it's only for the PMDG737. I'm going to start off by showing you what the dials do. Now this gauge has two different pages and it'll change page automatically as you scroll through the various different functions on the gauge. So I'm going to cover the dials first, and the right dial is used to select which function is currently selected. So as you scroll through the different functions, you can see the page will actually change when it gets to the top and or bottom of that respective page. Now the left dial is actually used to toggle, switch or press whatever function is currently highlighted. In this case the LPAC is highlighted and the left dial will switch that up, center and or down. So you just use the left dial to change the control and the right dial to select the control. So right dial, left dial, right dial, left dial. You can see the trip button is going in. Right dial, we'll switch that down, right dial, and we'll switch that down, etc. So we can go back to the other page, we just scroll through all the functions and then we go onto this page here as well. So again, left dial will just toggle all the switches on and off. Some of the switches have 3 positions, and you'll see a central position here for the pack switches, and the left dial will toggle between top, bottom and middle as well. Okay, so I'm not going to cover what all of the switches do. I'll expect if you're getting this, you'll know the PMDG and you should know what these switches do. I haven't had an awful lot of flight time on the PMDG, so I'm rusty on what all of this does at the moment, so I'm not going to try and cover that right now anyway. But these switches do emulate the PMDG aircraft switches and will be exactly as if you clicked them in the aircraft. Okay, so now we're going to cover off the buttons. Now on this gauge we're using S1, 2 and 3, 4 to 6 are not used. Now the blue LED indicates the closest hardware control to activate the mini menu, and on this gauge it's nearest S1. So clicking S1 will bring up the mini menu. The right dial will change the function on the menu and the left dial will change the value of the function. So currently we're showing version and info. The left dial will toggle the version and info page on and off. Now the right dial over to the aircraft mode. Now the aircraft mode, there's 2 modes, sim mode and PMDG 737. Now sim mode, it won't actually work, so you do have to select the PMDG mode for this gauge. Now the reason why you have to do that is because my gauges share variables, and if this gauge automatically switched to PMDG, it's going to do the same for all of your gauges that have a compatibility switch, so it's not going to assume that, so you need to activate that mode. So if you do run this gauge and find that things aren't working, it's probably because you haven't switched to the PMDG mode, and by using the left dial that will toggle between the sim mode and the PMDG mode, which will then operate this gauge. The right dial will take us to the next option, which is the overhead lighting test, and the left dial will toggle the overhead lighting test on and off, and as you can see the lights come on and that activates the test switch. The next option on the menu is the gauge brightness, and the left dial will adjust the gauge brightness up and down. Now this will only work on physical FIPS, not on VFIPS. Okay, so the S2 button is a shortcut for the PMDG mode. So if you press S2, it will toggle between sim and PMDG, saving you have to go through the menus. I generally program them in the menus and on the buttons in case you want to reprogram the buttons to do something else. And again, the S3 button also now activates the shortcut to the overhead light test. So you can toggle that on and off from the S3 button. Again, if you reprogram these buttons, it's not a problem because you can go into the menu and you can change them from within the menu. And that pretty much concludes this gauge. I hope you found it useful. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and don't forget to come back and check out some of our other gauges. And please, if you like my gauges, be certain to give them a thumbs up. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Bye now.